Hello, and welcome to another 1-minute card design. Today we're going to work on a technique called repetition to help change your images and make them look more interesting than you may think just stamping them simply. So, it's a little bit of prep in order to make this a true 1-minute card design, and that is to prepare 3 pieces. 1, your card base. Any color you'd like, your favorite color would be best. Pull out your favorite color of cardstock and make a card base 5.5 by 4 1/4 standard size. Then cut a piece of Whisper White at 2.5 by 4. I'm using a little piece of textured cardstock right here, but you're fine with Whisper White. 2.5 by 4 inches. And then cut a piece of black cardstock a little bit larger. So you can use your cutter to make it. This one happens to be 1/8 of an inch larger, but you could make it a full 1/4 of an inch larger, just as long as it's larger than the white. And that's your prep, okay? Now this is a technique that uses the Stamp-A-Majig. So I could add one more step of prep if you want to do more than one of these cards. So I'm going to use StazOn ink to prepare my Stamp-A-Majig, but don't use StazOn unless you have StazOn ink remover, because StazOn ink stays on. Okay, so I'm just going to prepare this. I'm just going to place the plastic with the rough side down onto the surface and then put the Stamp-A-Majig up into the corner so that it's flush with the corner of the plastic. Now if you're left-handed, do it this side and you'll find it much easier. But for those right-handed people, just stay over here on this corner and then take your stamp, I'm using a wooden stamp in this case, and put it into that corner as well. So all 3 things, the plastic, the handle, and the stamp, are up in the corner, and then you stamp straight down. And there is the image you need on your Stamp-A-Majig. Now I didn't have to do the image that dark because this is just for the sake of prep. Alright, I'll be right back and we will start our card. Now we're going to start with the white focal point piece, and I'm just going to use a little bit of temporary adhesive to adhere it down to my grid paper. And this is just so it doesn't move while I'm working. Now I'm going to start by placing my Stamp-A-Majig image, the plastic sheet, on the far left of the white focal piece. And then I'm going to take the base of the Stamp-A-Majig and put it up in the corner. So what's important when you're working with your Stamp-A-Majig is your plastic determines where you put your T, right? Not the other way around. Okay, so I'm going to push that in the corner. Now I'm ready to use my StazOn ink to stamp up my image. I can move the plastic. I don't want to move the base. And then I'm going to stamp right down. And now here's where the fun begins. I'm going to change that image and tilt it just a little bit. So by tilting it and changing the perspective of the image, it looks different from the first one. And then again, I put my T in the corner of my plastic because the plastic determines where I place the T. And I guess I don't have a better term for it. Should I say handle? I've been calling it a T because it's the T that I see. And then I'm going to stamp that down. And I'm pressing kind of hard because I'm using textured white. And now I have 2 images. And now I'm going to use my plastic to find the position of my 3rd image, which I want to be kind of low. The reason being is I plan to put something up here. So I'm going to put it there. And again, I place my T in the corner of the plastic and remove the plastic. And now I can put my final image down. And of course I was using my grid paper the whole time because my image is often going to fall off the edge of the focal point. And now, if you can tell, I'm not going to pick it up yet because I want to put the sentiment up there. So what I've taken as a sentiment is there's a stamp set. It's called Fabulous Phrases, and it has all these different words in it. And so I just took smile out of it, and I'm going to stamp smile on the top area there. Now, don't laugh at me for using this huge block for this little tiny stamp, but my little tiny blocks are in my kits because I have a workshop today, so it's all packed away and I didn't want to pull it out. So there's my sentiment. It just says smile. And then, basically I'm done actually. I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it over and put some adhesive on the back. And then the whole thing, as you can probably guess, is going to be mounted onto the black cardstock as a mat. And then behind that, I'm going to take and put some stamping dimensionals. Remove the backs off of them. And then take my base and mount my focal piece onto the bank base for a very clean and elegant framed look. Now, you can stop right here. You can stop right here, but I'm going to do one more step. Remember I added dazzling details before? I'm actually going to use Stickles this time because Stickles I have in blue. I actually have tons of Stickles. I have all different color Stickles, and I bet you do too. And they're really helpful for, you know, this I guess it's a dandelion. They just beg me to adorn them because of these cute little dots. And so I think that's what attracts me to the stamp set, these cute little dots that you can adorn and bling up. So I'm just taking a little bit of the blue Stickles and I'm dotting like every other little dot. Not all of them, because that would be too much. Just a couple of places, not even every other, like every third little dot on the image. And I'm adding these blue Stickles. And what that will do, because the blue Stickles match the blue paper, it's all gonna make it more cohesive. And, you know, give it a little bling for a little bit more look at it longer appeal. Okay, you know, we spend so much time on these cards. Even when we spend only 5 minutes, we want people to look at them. So it kind of gives you that play with the light so that you look at it longer. That's it, guys. Clean, simple, easy, and elegant, and I really hope you enjoy it. I want you to know that I did it in red too because I love red. And of course I used red Stickles. And I can do it portrait. So when you're doing it portrait, you're only going to stamp it twice. So enjoy. That's this week's Clean and Simple 1-minute card. There'll be another one next week. Have a great week and do lots of stamping. Bye-bye.